don't hate them.
I like to start right there, yes.
And then he's like, well, I hate a couple of them.
No, I feel the same way. It's great.
So, how would you describe the show?
It's a great question. The general plot, or how would I describe it as in if I was just what we're going for kind of thing?
Both.
Yeah. What's the studio pitch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, for us, I think we were really excited about creating a show within a show, dual storytelling, where, you know, right now I think audiences have become very aware when they watch things. They're incredibly smart, and every kind of show has been on the air to a certain extent. So for us, we love the idea of creating something that we follow, a type of storytelling that really hasn't been told. And to be able to have both shows play off each other, and to take people on a ride that's both scary and entertaining, and a little bit self-aware. I think that right now, when you're making a show like this, and you're not saying to the audience, we kind of understand what we're doing and where television has gone to, and we felt like there was such what social media has done, and I always hate using the word social media, but what it's done is it's really formed great communities of people that love a certain type of show, and we're in that community, and we love to make shows for those communities, and we just kind of wondered what happened. It's always a great thing. What happened if it went a little awry? What happened if it suddenly was not just people like talking about who should be dating who, but what if it was really more nefarious? And we just thought it was a delicious and irresistible idea ever since we first read Rockney's script. And it felt like it has only gotten a little more relevant as time has gone on in the intensity of it, I think. And as show creators, we're very aware of the presence of the people that watch and like the shows. It's definitely a factor. And we just thought it would be a fun idea to sort of be able to tell a story that really involved it and was aware of that. And at the same point, hopefully it's going to be a really cool ride and a suspenseful ride. We just felt like this type of thing wasn't on. And the idea of, in terms of just the story of it, to tell it, my quick synopsis, it's a story about an investigative reporter named Jeff Sefton, who moves back to Los Angeles, undergoing a little bit of career turmoil, who has always felt responsible for his younger brother. One day his younger brother comes to him, who's a bit of a ne'er-do-well, and says, this television show is after me, you have to help me. Dismisses his brother's concerns, his brother disappears, and the only clue he has is the television show. He kind of can't believe it, but he begins to investigate, could this television show be responsible? In doing so, he meets up with a woman named Sky Yara, who's a researcher on this show called Colt. She's had some mysterious happenings in her own past involving the disappearance of her father. She's naturally curious. She suspects that the fans of the show may be up to some mischief. She teams up with him to help investigate, and together they discover that, in fact, the show may be responsible for the disappearance of his brother, amongst other things, and they are sucked into the world of this television show that no one would possibly believe them that they told, and they are really the only people right now who can sort of take this world on, and they plunge into this world in hopes of figuring out what happened to his brother. How was that?
Well, that was the short pitch.
Somebody play that back. I'm never going to be able to do that again. Jesus.
We're all going to use that now.
God, thank you. All right. Someone send me a copy of that, please.
Can you talk about casting as long as we're on board?
Certainly can. Well, Rob Knepper, who plays Billy Grimm, was extremely important to us because we knew if we were casting the role of a supervillain on television who had to really be a television star, you had to cast someone who was a television star, who is larger than life but also real. And Rob has done everything from comedy to obviously really terrifying roles, and we felt like he was the perfect guy to be at the center of both worlds in a weird way, that he would captivate every moment he was on screen, and I think he does. Matt Davis, we feel, is a true leading man. We love the idea that he was off Vampire Diaries, a cult show in itself. So to us, playing into that, especially doing the show for the CW, was important. We've been big fans of Jessica Lucas and felt like this was a perfect role for her that took advantage of all her great skills. And Alona Tal, we've loved since Veronica Mars, another cult show. And what's great about Alona is she's believable as a detective, solving a crime, and she's also very relatable as a young actress in Los Angeles, also trying to make her way. She'll have to play both roles and also be involved in the mystery. So for us, if you could have told us at the beginning we would have ended up with these 4 people, we would have been delighted.
So was it like they were on the short list of people you wanted to vote?
There's only a short list at the end of the day for this type of a show. So yeah, we were very lucky. They were people that, again, if someone said at the beginning, you you can have these 4 people to be the entry points for the audience, we would have been thrilled.
Well, I was going to say earlier you talked about social media. Is that where you were going?
No, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Well, anyway, earlier you talked about social media. Are there plans right now to utilize social media like Twitter, Facebook, etc. for the show?
Yeah, it's a natural extension of the show. We will absolutely do that. We really did obviously create something where we felt like the marketing hooks to it was built into the show. Right now, for us, it's about 50% is making it and 50% is getting it out there so people come to the party. And we felt like this show naturally does that. We do intend on using a lot of social media, Twitter, Facebook, to interact with the fans as part of the show, but where it best serves the content of it. We don't ever want to be doing it where it feels too cute. We really want to do it, and we feel like there's some natural ways to do it, obviously, but and it's a big part of it. And the network, it's one of the things that's excited the network about reaching out to fans, but it has to serve the content of the show ultimately, and that's going to be the goal.
You mentioned earlier that there was nothing like this currently, and when watching the pilot, it really feels like a throwback to the late 90s, early 2000 shows. Chris Carter, Freaky Links is a good example.
Yeah.
I mean, why now? It seems like there's been this 10-year, lapse where there haven't been any shows like this. Why now?
Well, I think for me, the most natural answer is I think there was probably a saturation of them at that time. And for me, television, it moves in cycles. And this script had come about many years ago, probably while that cycle was just in its last gasp. And maybe people felt it was too close to those things at that point. For us, it was always very different and relevant. I think that the time has just come around again to sort of embrace that type of tone and that feeling like, you're bringing the audience into a world that is creepy and suspenseful, but also for us, the type of shows we tend to make on the Fake Empire side is we always have to let the audience know we're aware it's a show. And I think audiences know that and want that, and if you can do it in the right way, I think it's a rewarding experience. I just think it's cyclical and everything moves in cycles, and right now it feels like it's time to do that, but updated. And it feels like the way we're doing it would have been different than the way it would have been done. But those shows were terrific shows and obviously an influence. But we feel like hopefully we can tap into something that hasn't been done exactly this way yet.
I was wondering if there are cues to let us know, like, when we're going to be in what world, the fictional pulp or the show pulp, like, so that we're not, or is that part of the mystery, us not really knowing what is real and what's
It's a great question. I mean, I think we'll always want to, if the inside show is as satisfying as we hope it will be, we want the audience to get lost in it, and then all of a sudden it stops and you realize, oh, wait a minute, I was just watching that show, which hopefully makes you question when the other show is on, which reality is informing which reality. We obviously don't want to be confusing, and that's a potential downside to it, but right now we really want to play it much like it plays in the pilot. We actually believe in the quality of the inside show to the point where we started it not only as a mystery, but to say, hey, we're taking this part seriously, and we want that to be rewarding, and sometimes there'll be a trigger to come in and out of it, and I think sometimes you won't be sure, and that's hopefully part of the allure of the show if you do it right.
How did Fake Empire get involved in this project?
Great question. I got involved with this project many years ago in another lifetime, in another job, and when Fake Empire started, I actually went to Josh and Stephanie and said, you got to read the script. I think it's terrific. It hasn't been made, and they read it and got it right away and loved it. And we sat down with Rockney and talked about ways that maybe both of our influences could come together to make the show. His influence of being a part of really scary, high-concept, intriguing shows, ours with being a little bit in the pop culture mix, with Chuck and Gossip Girl, and it felt like maybe it would inspire that very question, how did Fake Empire and Rocky O'Bannon come together? But it's been a great ride. I mean, the influences we've both had, I think, are evident in the show, and we've had a blast kind of working together and doing it, and hopefully those influences will continue to play off each other as the show goes on.
Sort of the back and forth between the show within the show and the show and cult itself in the pilot, is that about the same sort of double back and forth?
Yes. It will hopefully be less beats of the inside show. There'll be either a thematic or a clue parallel to it. But in the early going of the show, we do want to establish most of it will be on the outside show, but the inside show is important to us, and when you're there, it will be relevant, and hopefully you'll be watching for how it will impact the outside show. but also get intrigued by the characters and the goings-on as well. So roughly the same ratio you saw in the pilot, at least in the first season, will be how we'll be handling both those shows.
So when you have a high concept show, a lot of networks are moving through mid-season to try to. How do you feel about having this mystery and building it, and then having to wait in order for it to, be seen by the public, especially the pilot, which was filmed separately from the rest of the show?
Right. For us, we're starting production on it right away. So it's not that we're actually waiting. We're kind of diving right into everything, which is great for us to keep everything going. I love the idea of airing mid-season because we can air 13 in a row. That's really the biggest attraction. We'll be out of the clutter of fall. I think audiences right now understand that shows come on at any time. That's a big difference than it was even 5 years ago when the show began. I think people understand something coming on in January, February, March could very well have an impact. And it gives us a huge time to really market it and create a unique marketing plan for it. So in some ways, we love it to be on right away. We love it. We're excited to see it. But I think it's better for an audience to get 13 in a row. Airing mid-season allows you to do it, and it allows us to sort of have that type of storytelling where we're not worried that there's going to be a 4-week lag or a 2-week lag in between episodes. We're going to be able to air every week. So for us, we're thrilled with actually airing when we're airing, mostly because it allows a little bit of a ramp up to marketing, gets us out of the clutter of 40 things premiering within a week, and it allows us to tell 13 in a row.
So do you think that the mid-season is now becoming kind of network's way of trying to match cable television?
I think they're doing everything they can to give the shows the best chance to succeed, and I think the CW is doing an incredibly smart thing. Both shows, Fake Empire is doing actually are premiering mid-season, and they're both very promotable in the Carrie Diaries. We're sneaking a little Carrie Diaries promotion. I know it's big down here. Carrie Diaries as well has a title and a name, and Colt is going to have a big marketing push ramp up. We're very happy to be going there. I do agree with you that networks are doing everything they can to give the shows the best chance. Why not go year-round? I hope it extends to summer. When we started this, there was even talk maybe it's a summer series, but I hope the more programming opportunities, the better.
I don't know if she's coming to take you away.
What? Have I answered out? Is there any other?
Answer more.
If you have,
Oh yeah, what snaps off? Let's just put it on the table. What's the thing that snaps off? Let's talk about this.
Wants to go now.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I have to ask Stephen Ray about that. I have to go.
okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
That's how you